So, you're thinking about being the skipper of a Rottnest Channel swim team? Well, buckle up, you're in for an exciting ride. G'day, welcome to the Southern Cross Navigator. In this video we'll be looking at some tips that could be helpful to skippers and swim teams in their next Rottnest Channel swim. The Rottnest Channel swim is a world-renowned open water event held in Perth, Western Australia each year in February. The course starts in Cottesloe Beach and is a 19.7k direct swim through to Rottnest Island. Now, I've skippered two previous Rottnest Channel swims and I just wanted to share some tips that I've learnt along the way. However, if you're an experienced Rottnest Channel swim skipper and you'd like to share some little nuggets of information, please feel free to pop them in the comments section below, as the objective of this video is to help other teams have a successful and safe event. Now, I believe the secret to any good endeavour like this is preparation. And a good place to start would be the website, rottnestchannelswim.com.au, which I'll link below. So, let's have a look. Now, this website is great, however the information is scattered all over the place, so I suggest reading the entire site to find the bits relevant to you. The event rules are straightforward, practical, aimed at everybody's safety, and a must to know. The Skipper Support tab has a lot of good data. The skipper must register themselves and their boat by the set dates, and there's also a skipper's questionnaire that must be completed prior to the event. Here's a link to the required boating safety equipment, which is standard for whenever more than 5 miles offshore. Now, I believe having a GPS for this event is a must. If you don't have one, borrow one or rent one, as a small navigational error on the boat makes for a lot of extra swimming for your team. Additionally, in 2021, many teams were forced to withdraw from the race as they drifted outside the northern boundaries. Now, the swim course spreadsheet shows you the shortest route for the swimmers and also the northern boundary. Now, these positions are shown in hours, minutes and decimals. So if you want to convert that to seconds, simply multiply the decimal by 60. For example, 0.719 multiplied by 60 equals 43.14 seconds. Also, don't assume coordinates you've used in past Rotto swims are the same each year, as coordinates may differ following a course recorrection or a datum change. These maps show the layout of the course, and it's pretty handy having a copy on your GPS or your phone. In particular, the finish markers can be hard to see amongst all the boats and distractions. A good skipper will always be aware of the weather forecast for the event, and there's lots of good weather websites available, including the Bureau of Met Marine and the University of Western Australia, both linked below. So we kicked off at Fishing Boat Harbour at sunrise, where we plan to meet the remainder of the team after they had earlier dropped off the starting swimmer and paddler at Cottesloe Beach. Powered by coffee, we left the harbour for the 20 or so minute ride north up the coast to the southern staging area. Well, here we are at the staging area of the 2021 Rottnest swim, and as expected the staging area is just chaos. As you can see, there's about a gazillion boats here at the moment, all vying to find their paddler and swimmer. And this is probably the most hectic part of the whole Rottnest swim, is that if you can pan around to the Lewin, you might be able to see the 1,000 metre mark about 100 metres directly ahead. And there's about 100 or so boats spread between us and the Lewin, which is at the 1,500 metre mark. We planned to get to the southern staging area around 7 AM, as our team's starting wave time was 7:30. A little after 7:30, the race officials, by VHF Radio 74, invited the boats from our wave to move up to the 1,000 metre mark so we could rendezvous with our swimmer. From the 500 metre mark to the 1,500 metre mark, the water can be very crowded, which can make it difficult to find your teammates. So if your team is looking for a competitive swim time It's important to have a rendezvous plan for the paddler to find the start swimmer and how the boat will find the paddler. This could include things like the paddler wearing bright colours. I even saw one dude with a really cool oversized rubber duck hat. Some boats will use very distinctive flags. Whatever plan works for your team. Just remember, swimmers and paddlers are not allowed past the lure without their boat. With the rendezvous over, the team focused on their swim plan whilst I accurately steered the team over the planned course. The forecast weather for the 2021 event showed light winds and currents from the south, then both increasing progressively throughout the day. However, at 8 AM it was turning out to be a beautiful day. Regarding swimmer changeovers, my boat has many strengths. However, one weakness is I cannot see swimmers in the water at the rear of the boat from the steering console. So we came up with a plan to have a spotter at the rear, passing on a thumbs up message that the propeller was in neutral and it was safe to climb on board.
Stuart, how crazy was it that first hail side?
It wasn't bad at all, luckily. Yeah, it was fine.
Did you trouble finding Buddy?
No, he was really good. I think he found me before anything, so...
What did you different? You had something in your arm or as a way of differentiating yourself?
No, we were going to, but it's just the flag. I just spotted the flag to my right. Yeah. We had a plan. I was going to shoot down the middle.
Yeah.
But everyone else was bunched up on the left and right, so we were watching. We're like, well, we'll just go straight down the middle there. No one else was doing it, so yeah.
Powered through though.
Yeah. Well, so Buddy being on the beach here with you, do you think that was an advantage?
It was, yeah. We had a plan. We had a look at the start, decided. Yeah, no, I think that helped a lot.
How's the day going, Brett?
It's been a fantastic day so far.
Great.
It's, haven't hit any boats, haven't hit any swimmers that I know of. You can see the field is really thinned out now. And as you can see, if you look straight ahead, the majority of the fleet's been a whisker to the south of the run line, went from nothing to making it much easier navigating through this. So the crew, their spirits are good and they're keeping up a good time, so it's been a fantastic swim so far.
It's gone well. It's gone really, really well.
Oh, you did well, Manus.
Give us a bit of a rundown on the epic
We started well.
paddling you've just done.
Stuart got off to a pretty quick start off that beach. I was quite surprised by how quick he was. He got to. I was like, geez, all right.
It was so easy to find you guys as a result of that.
Made it really easy to find the boat, and we held a pretty good pace the whole way through.
What's the hardest part of doing this paddle?
When the waves come up and the person swimming hits the wave, like they get chopped,
Yeah.
and then it throws the water up, and I just get popped in the face.
So it's not technically difficult to paddle
No.
through this because you're going quite slow?
You're going just a slow pace, it'd be easy to paddle faster, but it's overall.
What's it like being surrounded by all the boats though?
At the start, that was tricky. That was really tricky, and it's a little bit nerve-wracking, like because you got people around, you got boats around. But the further we come out, the more we have to spread out apart.
to 1.5 knot current from the south. Because our swimmers are only swimming at about 1 knot. We have to hold a heading at about 45 degrees. So it's quite challenging. This makes it interesting considering this boat is just a big gas. You can see it's turning. It's been fun.
How you going, crew?
Good, yeah. Getting choppy now.
So here we are a little over the 14k mark, which is about 5 kilometres east of Rottnest. However, if you notice, all the boats and paddlers are heading well to the south of Rottnest Island. As forecast, both the wind and currents dramatically increased after midday, and from this point, as planned, our team swam a heading around to the left to compensate for the current from the south. The direct run-line track for this event is about 270 degrees. However, at this point, we needed a heading of around 225 degrees to hold our planned route. Sadly, there were many teams that did not seem to compensate for this current, and they drifted outside the northern boundaries and were withdrawn from the race by officials. Now, as this was a race ender for many teams, I'll do a separate video to explain this issue in more detail and how to compensate, which I'll link below.
You're a legend, Brett. Brett,
No, it's not me, it's the GPS.
bloody legend.
Well, my GPS is a legend.
You're a bloody legend, Brett. Brett, a bloody legend.
Unbelievable.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank God for GPSs, eh?
You've done awesome. Like if you think how much we felt like we were sitting that way, we ended up like a boat in between.
Now, what the team is talking about here is at the 17k mark, we were exactly where we had planned to be. After swimming for about 3 hours at a 45 degree heading south of Rotto, the team honestly thought we would end up way to the south of Rotto. However, the GPS gave me the information I needed to keep us exactly on track, covering the shortest distance and importantly within the authorised swim corridor. Now that we're past the 18 kilometre mark, boats should try and stay out of the final swim channel unless doing a swimmer changeover. We plan to hover along the northern boundary of the swim channel so we could move north to our mooring once we reach the 19k mark. When it came time for a swimmer changeover, we moved south into the final swim channel to drop off and pick up our swimmer, then we moved north again outside the channel. As you can see, it gets pretty congested.
Well, now's about as good a time as we're going to get.
Yeah, you go.
The 19k mark is as far as I can take the crew. It's time for me to peel off to the north, avoiding Inner Kingston Reef, drop off some crew at the jetty, moor the boats, and then swim ashore for some grub and a well-deserved ale.